When the storm hits, do you fight or give in? For the ancient samurai, crises were inevitable, but giving up was never an option. They followed an ancient code, Bushido, that transformed even the darkest moments into opportunities for strength and resilience. What if you could use this same code to face your life's toughest challenges? Today, you'll discover how the 7 virtues of the samurai can help you overcome any crisis with courage, honor, and resilience. Bushido, known as the way of the warrior, was more than a set of rules for the samurai. It was the essence of their lives, a code of conduct that guided their decisions, their battles, and even how they faced death. But the most powerful thing about Bushido is that it is not limited to times of war. Its 7 virtues are a timeless roadmap for overcoming crises and finding balance, even in chaos. Imagine having the wisdom to make difficult decisions, the strength to face your fears, and the resilience to never give up. This is what Bushido can teach now. Let's explore how each of these virtues can transform the way you face your challenges. G. Righteousness for the samurai. Righteousness was the essence of all other virtues. It wasn't just about following a fixed code or rules, but about living in line with what was right and fair, even when that meant facing difficulties. Righteousness did not depend on convenience or recognition. It was a conscious choice, which required strength to follow the right path. Regardless of the circumstances, they believed that the foundation of a true warrior was the integrity of his actions. A word spoken was a bond sealed, a promise made, an oath kept on the battlefield. This meant fighting honorably without trickery or betrayal. In everyday life, it meant protecting the vulnerable, acting justly, and never straying from one's principles even when no one was looking. In today's world, honesty remains essential. In a world full of tempting shortcuts and where external pressures often force us to compromise our values, being honest is an act of courage. Imagine yourself in a workplace situation where unethical decisions are frequently made. It may be easier to turn a blind eye or even participate, but honesty requires the opposite, that you stand up for what is right. Even if it causes you short-term hardship, acting with honesty preserves peace of mind and builds unshakable character, something that no amount of fleeting recognition can replace. The power of righteousness lies in its simplicity. It is not about striving for perfection, but about choosing the path that you know deep down is right. In times of crisis, when uncertainty reigns and the temptation to stray from one's values. In Crises, he reminds us that acting justly not only solves the problem, but also strengthens the spirit. Courage was what set a true warrior apart from those who merely carried a sword. To the samurai, was not just bravery on the battlefield. It was the strength to act correctly, even when fear threatened to overwhelm them. They knew that true valor lay not in never feeling fear, but in facing it with determination and discipline. Being brave did not mean acting impulsively or recklessly. Rather, it was a courage guided by reason and purpose. On the battlefield, it could mean confronting a stronger opponent without hesitation. In everyday life, it was the act of facing the consequences of difficult choices, knowing that they were necessary to honor one's path. Nowadays, courage remains the key to overcoming personal challenges. It's not just about big, heroic gestures, but also about small acts that take us out of our comfort zone. It could be starting a conversation we've been putting off, making a decision to change career path, or even admitting that we need help. Fear paralyzes us, but it teaches us that the first step, however small it may seem, is what breaks this barrier and opens the way to progress. Daily courage doesn't require guarantees of success. It simply asks that you take action, that you move, even when the outcome is uncertain. Each small act of courage builds our confidence and prepares us for greater challenges. Just as a samurai sharpened his sword before each battle, we too need to practice courage regularly, facing our fears and challenges with determination and purpose. When you find yourself faced with a difficult decision, remember that courage is not about the absence of fear, but about acting in spite of it. This is what gives us the strength to move forward, turn uncertainty into opportunity, and face crises with the heart of a true warrior. Compassion. The samurai were known for their skill in combat, but their strength was not limited to the sword. Compassion was the virtue that balanced their power. reminding them that being a true warrior also meant protecting and helping others. It was not enough to be strong. One had to use that strength to benefit society and promote good. In a world marked by constant conflict, the samurai's compassion was not passive. They acted to alleviate suffering wherever they could, even if it required sacrifice. A samurai who ignored compassion was not worthy of Bushido, for strength without kindness became empty and destructive. Today, Jin challenges us to look beyond ourselves. In a world that often promotes individualism and competition, compassion is an act of resistance. It manifests itself in small gestures, offering help to someone who is struggling, listening attentively without judgment, or simply showing kindness in a moment of stress. But Jin goes beyond that. He also teaches us to be compassionate toward ourselves. We are often our own harshest critics, demanding perfection and judging ourselves harshly for our mistakes. Compassion reminds us to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we offer others, creating space for growth and healing. True compassion does not expect anything in return. It is a reflection of inner strength, a demonstration that even in the midst of chaos, we can act with kindness and balance. Just as a samurai used his sword to protect, we can use our actions to create a positive impact on the world around us. When you choose compassion, even in challenging situations, you demonstrate that your strength lies not only in your resilience, but also in your ability to connect with others. This is what turns a simple act of kindness into something profoundly powerful. Respect was the basis of samurai interactions. With both allies and enemies, REI was not limited to polite gestures or formalities, but was a demonstration of dignity and recognition of the worth of others, regardless of the circumstances. For the samurai, respect was not a reflection of another's position or power, but of one's own strength and character. On the battlefield, respect was as important as skill with the sword. A samurai could face his opponent with intensity, but never dishonorably. Respecting one's opponent was a way of acknowledging the courage and dedication that had led him to that moment. This attitude created a silent connection where honor was maintained, even in the midst of conflict. Today, rei is an essential virtue in a world that seems increasingly divided. Respecting others, even when there are disagreements, is a demonstration of maturity and self-control. This does not mean accepting injustice or submitting to something wrong, but rather acting with dignity, choosing words and attitudes that maintain the honor of both parties. Respect also starts with ourselves. When we set healthy boundaries and value ourselves, we show that we understand our own worth. This is reflected in how we treat others, creating a cycle of mutual respect that strengthens all relationships. King teaches us that respect is not just a moral choice, but a practical tool for creating harmony, resolving conflicts, and building trust. When we choose to treat others with dignity, even in challenging situations, we are demonstrating true inner strength, the kind that doesn't have to stoop to disrespect in order to assert itself. In the end, respect transcends words or gestures. It is present in the way we act, how we listen, and how we choose to interact with the world around us. Rei reminds us that it is in the dignity of our actions that the true strength of the warrior is revealed. Makoto, sincerity, to the samurai. Makoto was more than telling the truth. It was living authentically, aligning intentions, words, and actions. Sincerity was the foundation of their honor, for a samurai whose word could not be trusted lost all value as a warrior and as a person. Makoto tolerated no half-truths or falsehoods. She demanded clarity, commitment, and accountability. The samurai believed that sincerity was a form of strength. By honoring their promises and acting honestly, they created a bond of trust with their allies and superiors. When a samurai said he would do something, it was as true as if it had already been done. This transparency created solid relationships and eliminated doubt or distrust. Today, Makoto remains an essential virtue, especially in a world where appearances often override substance. Being sincere is not just about telling the truth, but also about being honest with yourself. How many times do we say yes when we mean no, or maintain a facade that doesn't reflect who we really are? Sincerity challenges us to drop masks and live authentically, even when it can be uncomfortable. Honesty also requires courage, Admitting mistakes, taking responsibility, and expressing true feelings can be difficult, but it is through this honesty that we build trust and strengthen our relationships. Makoto teaches us that living truthfully frees us from the burden of pretending or manipulating, allowing us to move forward with clarity and purpose. When you live your life truthfully, your actions become consistent, and this creates an unshakable inner strength. Makoto reminds us that the truth, no matter how challenging it may be, is always the path that leads to inner peace and authenticity. Meiyo, honor, was the essence of a samurai's identity. Meiyo represented the constant pursuit of living in a way that reflected dignity, integrity, and worth. For the samurai, honor was more than a virtue. It was their very reason for being. Acting without honor was worse than facing death. For a warrior's reputation and legacy depended on his commitment to Bushido. Meiyo guided every choice and action, demanding that the samurai act in accordance with his principles. Even when no one was watching, his honor was built not only on great heroic acts, but on every small gesture of everyday life. It was in the consistency between words and actions that true strength of character was revealed. Today, honor remains a powerful, if often forgotten, virtue. In a world where the pursuit of approval and temporary status is constant, Meiyo challenges us to seek something deeper, self-respect and consistency with our values. Being honorable means acting in a way that, when you look back, you can be proud of your choices, even if they were not popular or easy. Honor also involves facing our own mistakes. There is no shame in failing, but there is shame in hiding or denying responsibility. Meiyo teaches us that admitting mistakes and seeking to correct them does not diminish our strength, but rather enhances it. True honor lies in acknowledging our imperfections while continuing to fight for what is right. Musashi said that honor is like a flame that needs to be protected. Small dishonorable actions can slowly extinguish it, while acts of courage, sincerity, and respect keep it alive and strong. Meiyo reminds us that our reputation is not just what others see, but a reflection of the way we choose to live each day. The power of honor lies in its simplicity, acting with integrity and consistency, no matter how challenging the path may be. When you choose to live with honor, you create a legacy that inspires not only yourself, but also everyone around you. Chugi, loyalty for the samurai. Loyalty was the foundation of all relationships. Chugi represented an unwavering commitment to those who depended on their strength and protection. Samurai who was loyal to his lord, family, or clan was worthy of trust, for he placed honor and duty above personal interests. Loyalty was not something given out of convenience. It required sacrifice and deep dedication. The samurai remained steadfast in his commitments, even in times of difficulty or uncertainty. Betraying the trust of someone who depended on him was considered the greatest dishonor. Today, Chugi challenges us to reflect on what it means to be loyal in a world where connections are often fragile. Loyalty is not just an act of loyalty to other people, but also a commitment to our own values and goals. Being loyal to yourself means not abandoning what really matters, even in the face of challenges. This virtue also teaches us to value true relationships. Being loyal in a relationship, whether with friends, partners, or colleagues, is showing that they can trust you, no matter the situation. This means not only supporting them in easy times, but also being there in difficult times, even when there is nothing to gain in return. Loyalty, however, is not blind. It requires discernment to know where to place our trust and the strength to move away from those who do not respect our dedication. Chugi reminds us that loyalty must be a two-way street, based on mutual respect and integrity. Musashi, throughout his life, demonstrated the importance of being loyal to one's own path. He said that, above all, we must commit to what we believe is right and never abandon our journey, even when it seems difficult or lonely. Chugi is the virtue that supports all others, as it is in loyalty that we find the power to remain firm in our commitments, whether with others or with ourselves. By practicing it, we create deeper bonds, cultivate trust, and become an example of strength and honor. The 7 virtues of Bushido are not just principles from a bygone era. They are a timeless guide to overcoming life's crises with strength, balance, and purpose. Gi, Yu, Jin, Rei, Makoto, Meiyo, and Chugi remind us that even in the midst of chaos, We have the power to choose the path of honor and resilience. Samurai faced death every day, but they were not just warriors on the battlefield. They were masters of living with purpose, acting courageously in the face of fear, respecting others and themselves, and constantly striving to be better. Today, the world may not demand swords, but it does demand inner strength. The battles we face are different. Challenges at work, difficulties in relationships, internal struggles with doubts or fears. But the samurai spirit remains a source of inspiration. When you face your next crises, ask yourself, am I acting righteously? Do I have the courage to move forward? Am I being compassionate, respectful, sincere, and honorable? Am I committed to what truly matters? Each of these virtues is a powerful tool for navigating challenges with clarity and purpose. Remember, a true warrior is not defined by his physical strength alone, but by the way he lives. Choose to be a warrior of life, someone who faces hardships with an open heart and the determination to never abandon the path of honor. If you apply even one of these virtues to your daily life, you will see that the wisdom of the samurai is as relevant today as it was centuries ago. The choice is yours. Live in chaos or find the strength of the warrior within you.